Hello, this is Mesh, and welcome to some gameplay of a title called Raji, an Ancient Epic. So this is a demo that I recently have played. Now, what initially inspired me to play this game, this little demo, was there was a competition. So a competition on alphabetagamer.com. So if you don't know that site, check it out. It's pretty cool. It has a lot of new titles that are coming out in very early stages. So when obviously in alpha and beta that you can sign up to play. Sometimes there's prototypes on there. So it's a very interesting website, very active. So it's a nice website. And this was one of them. So initially it said, we're having a speedrun competition. So the top 10 players who can do this level, this little demo in the quickest time, get a free copy. So I thought, sweet, that sounds like a good idea. So always keen to get a free copy of a game because then I can do a review and upload it to the channel. So I can provide some content around reviews, obviously, for the channel. But the thing is, when I started playing this game, straight away, I knew there's something special here. As you can see, the very first start is very slow. You're kind of methodically walking around, having a look, seeing what the environment is. And already it's visually stunning. The game is all hand-drawn, and that in itself, for me, is good. But you add on top of that this atmospheric music that it has as well. My interest was piqued. And then the combat. So it has so many things going for it in this little demo. Just the thing is we need to keep in mind, this is a little demo, so it does have bugs and flaws. So this is not a final state, so things will change. This game is actually scheduled for release, I think in actually 2019. So it's a long way from coming. But still, I'm very interested to see how it goes. Because, once again, how it looks, the mythology in it. Don't see this type of mythology in other games. I think Smite has a little bit of Indian mythology in it. That's probably the only game I've played recently which has. So for me, this isn't the common theme that we're seeing. So it's good to get something fresh like this, as instead of the same thing that we get rehashed all the time. So, interesting concept. So this game is brought to us by Nodding Head Games. So they're an Indian developer, and one of the things that they did to get a bit of inspiration, I should say, is they went to Indonesia and Bali. So that's where the enemies have come from. So if you see the design of the enemies, that's where they've taken the inspiration from for that. So that's really cool. So we've got a mixture of mythologies and cultures in here. So already it's a really interesting design. And you can see as well, just this scene here with me throwing the spears down the walkway. It looks amazing. It's a really good looking game. I think the lighting is already impressive. The design, it's already all looking so good. So let's talk about the combat a little bit. So on the basic, we have a basic attack. So that's the kind of just spamming the enemy, which is good because it does a couple of telegraph hits, and then you have a chance to move, or you could do an individual hit. We also have throwing the spear. Whilst it may look a little bit spammy, it's not. You actually have to charge it. So that is good. I think that is a really good decision, because being able to spam that spear wouldn't be good. That would take out all the fun of that. But yet you have to charge it up. Now here is a special ability which you gain. So it is, whilst it looks really powerful, it looks amazing, and it does stun the enemy, it doesn't actually do a lot of damage. It seems a bit inconsistent for that damage as well. Sometimes I found that it did a lot of damage, sometimes I found that it didn't. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's by design. There doesn't seem to be a logic behind that. But still, it gives you a chance when you use it. So if I use it again here, I believe I probably do, because I think I'm in a tricky situation, yes. So it gives you a second, it slows down time, so you can also figure out what your next step will be. So it's really cool as a stun, and also as a damage ability. But it looks visually amazing as well. As you can see as well, if you get the enemy down to a few into the red, you can do a execute. So I'll see if I do one here. So yes, I did. So execute there, so that's quite nice. A nice little animation. It does take a bit longer when you're doing execute, but it does make you immune whilst you're doing it. I don't know if that's the right decision, but still, it's fun. Good to get a bit of variation in the executes as well, but once again, this is in demo stages. We see as well, shortly, I start picking up these more orbs, picking up these silver orbs. So they're actually for a talent tree. We only have access to first few stages of the talent tree, but still there's about, I think there's 6 different talents here. So here we go. So I'll quickly flash into it because I'm trying to do the speed run at the moment, so I don't really hang around in there. But we can see at the moment we have an ability which is chain lightning. So when you're attacking it, the lightning chains between enemies. And the other one, I believe, it powers up your special ability. So it's you know, there's great potential there. I would also like to see with this game, just a few thoughts that I have straight off the bat would be weaponry. So it would be nice to get a few different weapons and a lot more abilities. Giving you the ability to play the game how you want is something I think this game would very benefit a lot from. It is only single player. For me, that's enough. I don't think this game needs anything else. I mean, you could add a multiplayer if you want, but I think that's not necessary. For me, this game will be more about the visual look of it, the environments, the atmosphere, the story, and the combat. So for me, the combat is very satisfying. I think it's well done. You can see there, yeah, I actually can't just dodge this guy. I actually have to roll and avoid his swing. So there's a double combination thing going on there. So I think that's quite nice. And I keep getting it wrong as well, which isn't the best. But yeah, it would be good to have different weaponry, a lot more abilities to really mix things up. But you know, this is a little demo, so we take it all with a grain of salt. But what I have used so far is very good, and there's nothing stopping you getting as well. So once again, this is a demo on Steam, so just have a search for it. If you're interested, give it a go yourself. You obviously don't have to go into competition if you don't want to, but it's an option for you if you want to try and get a good score. And this as well, this for me is really cool. So this little puzzle along the way, and it's a puzzle. So the actual design of the puzzle is the same as the ability that you're using. So your lightning ability, I think it leaves this pattern on the ground, which is really cool. The kind of combination there of using the same thing a few times, and I think it's a good idea to do things like this, where you change your angle of the camera, do something else to mix things up. And you could, obviously that was a very simplistic one. It doesn't take long to figure that out, but you could get some really complicated designs in there, which would be really cool. You know, it's very easy because of the coloring with that one. But if you take the coloring away, and yet you have to concentrate and try and figure out, it's very nice. So another point of note as well regards the environment and the level design is you can see there's different areas you can go. So each one of these towers has a bunch of stairs that go to the top. So sometimes there's enemies at the top which you have to kill. I can't actually proceed because I'm locked out by that vine, as you can see, so I need to kill all the enemies before you proceed. But there are many areas in this game that have hidden health. So the top left, the blue dots, that is your health. Below that is your ability charge, I guess you could say. So the little green spheres that are around the place, obviously they recharge you, and the same for the yellow spheres. I quite like being able to go off the beaten track here and go and find these other areas. I think it's important to do stuff like that. Actually up here, I only kill this enemy and go away, but if you keep going, there's a whole area up there where there's more health and stuff like that, but I didn't need it. I didn't think it was worth it. I'm trying to get the top time here, so I just left it. Killed that guy and left it. But just the death animations, it all looks so visually impressive. Even this part here, when it changes the camera, and that for me, that part is amazing. Just, it doesn't take much, but it's, yeah, I think it's really good. So I am very interested in this game. Now, whilst I am, once again, interested and impressed, I wouldn't pre-purchase because I don't believe in net practice anymore. I think net practice has proven to be a failure, I guess you could say. I've been burnt too many times by pre-purchasing. So whilst I will keep an eye on this game and even support them on Kickstarter, I think is a good idea. So I'll put the link below if you want to do it yourself. So they are in that Kickstarter stage at the moment. Support them if you wish. I would do that, but pre-purchasing, no, not anymore. I think that is a bad idea. I'm not saying these guys are doing that either. It doesn't look like they are at the moment, but just, just trying to control my excitement here. Even the games I'm very excited about, I do not pre-purchase anymore. Thank you, Aliens Colonial Marines, for that one. One part as well is I guess the enemies. So once again, the enemies design is from that Indonesia Bali. So that, once again, that's interesting. The uniqueness of it. You don't see enemies like this in other games, so already it is unique around that. But what is what else is unique is, I guess, how the enemies are almost staggered. How there's different types of enemies where you're using your ability to slow down time with that electricity ball, and really trying to think that there. So I'm trying to think, okay, where do I go next? So it's good to give that little bit of time. I like it. Obviously other games do this type of thing, but it's done well. This game is done well for this. So the combat for me at the moment, whilst the basic attack stuff is simplistic, the complexity lies with the amount of enemies and trying to micromanage where you're going to go next in these stages of slowing down time. So even the execute, giving you that second, or whilst time is slowed down here, so we can still think about where we're going next. And I imagine this game is going to get a whole lot more complicated with a lot more enemies. The enemies on the external here, so you can see the enemy on the tower, they're going to attack me from ranged, but they're only going to come into my area of attack when I attack them. So that is good. It gives you a chance to fight the enemies that you're dealing with directly in front of you, then get the enemies from range a bit later. So it gives you that choice. I think that is a good way to do it. Instead of too many enemies all at once, it's nice to be able to choose that as well. So the story of this one is interesting as well. How she has been chosen, the main character, has been chosen by the gods to defeat the demonic army that's... I don't know if it's invasion or if she's been placed somewhere else. By the look of it, she has been. So she's been moved and put into this realm where she needs to fight the demons. But also her brother is missing as well. So you kind of want to get the backstory as to what's going on. But also it's done. There's enough story here that's teased that it's piqued my interest. So let me know. Once again, this demo is available to everyone on Steam. So go along, give it a go if this is something that you like the look of. Give it a go. Let me know your feedback below as well. Was there any bugs that you noticed? Once again, there's a few that I did. I guess combat. Sometimes the movement doesn't seem to do what you want to do. There's a little bit of clipping with both the characters, the enemies, and sometimes the environment. But you got to expect that. This is a demo and seems to be in very early stages of the game. But once again, so if you've given it a go, leave me some feedback below. They are in that Kickstarter stage, so if you play the game and you like it enough, obviously if you want to support them, you can do. So that is an option, and I think that's a better way to do it. Whilst I was complaining about pre-purchasing before, I think that doing something like this is better, because it's more as an idea of faith. Instead of the pre-purchasing and spending a whole lot of money, you can just give them a little bit of money, what you think that it deserves as far as your point of view, how much you want to support them. I think that's a better way to do it. Once again, pre-purchasing is not something I advise anymore. But this point here as well, this is, I think, possibly the final area, and it just starts getting hectic, trying to micromanage the location you're in and trying to make sure that you know where everyone is, all the enemies. And that, once again, that slowdown ability is really good. It would be very good to add on to this, having other abilities in the mix of it all. So once again, we're really cool to see maybe different weaponry. We see that there is a talent tree, so powering up the chain lightning and her main ability, and that is very good, they're very promising, but it would be good to get some different abilities in there as well. So then this is the finishing area, visually pretty awesome. Look at that, a great way to finish the game. And so yeah, I'll leave this video here. Let me know what your thoughts are. Did you get it? Have you had a go at it? Are you interested in it? So this has been Raji and Ancient Epic. Thanks for watching, subscribe for future content, and thumbs up if you like this video. Until next time, this is Mesh, and I'll see you later.